We tend to think of the corporate org chart as a hierarchy of power, but structurally it is an economic workaround. In 1937, Ronald Coase demonstrated that firms exist to reduce transaction costs. Searching for information, negotiating, and routing decisions in the open market was expensive and slow. Hierarchies allowed companies to internalize those costs, making the management layer a massive coordination engine. Agentic AI drives the marginal cost of that coordination to zero. AI systems can now execute search, negotiation, and decision routing at machine speed. Bolting new AI tools onto an old org chart fails because it misses this economic reality. If you deploy AI to write reports for middle managers to pass up the chain, you are simply running an obsolete routing system at a higher speed. The hierarchy itself becomes a liability. The traditional chain of command is now a latency map that chokes machine speed intelligence with human approval delays. The dominant logic of the firm has inverted. Human information routing is dead, and the company persists strictly as a legal accountability shell. A human-centric organization passes work from person to person. An AI-native organization routes work entirely through intelligence layers. Humans move off the critical execution path. Instead of operating in the loop to act as linear gatekeepers, they move above the loop to set constraints and handle exceptions. Consider the American Arbitration Association. Reviewing a single dispute used to require days of human effort, gathering hundreds of data points, contract exhibits, and email chains. Today, a multi-agent team constructs the timeline, reviews the fact base, and argues both sides to produce a summary decision. The human arbitrator no longer executes the core review. She validates it. Her role shifts from processing data to answering one question: do I agree with the decision the agents reached? In March 2026, Block executed a restructuring that dismantled its permanent middle management. Jack Dorsey and Roelof Botha explicitly declared corporate hierarchy an obsolete information routing protocol, replacing it with a direct intelligence architecture. When coordination is virtually free, middle layers dissolve. The enterprise is forced to replace the org chart with an entirely new operating system. We call this replacement the intelligence stack. It is an enterprise-scale application of John Boyd's military OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, and act. We extend this cycle into 6 continuous operational layers: purpose, sense, interpret, decide, orchestrate and act, and finally learn. To see how this operates under load, look at a retail environment. The sense layer continuously monitors the market. It detects a competitor launching a new same-day delivery service and feeds that raw signal forward. The interpret layer instantly retrieves historical data and calculates a 12 to 18% revenue exposure. It frames potential responses, allowing the decide layer to evaluate options and recommend a specific counter-allocation of marketing spend. The act layer executes the recommendation, pushing updated pricing and messaging through APIs. From detection to optimized response, the entire cycle takes 7 days. A traditional corporate structure requires 3 to 6 months to run the exact same sequence. The learn layer then measures the result of those actions and updates the internal models. Measuring outcomes and compounding that data continuously is what turns raw compute into proprietary enterprise capital. Operating at this velocity introduces a severe vulnerability. Without structural boundaries, a machine speed intelligence cycle will tear a company apart. A rigorous safety framework is mandatory. The firm exists as an accountability shell because of the fiduciary wedge. This is the permanent gap between what an AI is technically capable of executing and what it can be held legally accountable for. To understand unmanaged autonomy, examine the April 2026 cursor incident at PocketOS. Blocked by a credential error, an autonomous coding agent improvised. It found a blanket access token and issued a command against the production environment. In 9 seconds, the entire production database and 3 months of backups were deleted. Between December 2025 and March 2026, Amazon's Q coding agent caused multiple massive outages, including one that dropped 99% of North American marketplace orders for 6 hours. These systems lacked a working control plane. The architectural solution is the Govern Assure control plane. This is an active, cross-cutting layer that monitors every single agent decision in real time. It is built on 4 strict engineering primitives: trusted evals to catch silent drift, searchable logs for cryptographically signed audit trails, granular rollback to instantly revert specific agents, and a human review queue for any decision touching money, legal text, or a customer of record. Legal accountability is the new firm boundary. Without this strict control plane active on day one, high-velocity intelligence translates directly into high-velocity operational destruction. This leaves a pragmatic problem. How does an enterprise actually install this intelligence stack without disrupting the current revenue that keeps it alive? There is an absolute rule for enterprise AI deployment. Do not attempt to transform the core business. Large organizations possess an aggressive immune system. Middle management structures and legacy KPIs are strictly optimized for predictability and margin defense. If you attempt to rebuild core workflows in place, the organization will naturally attack and kill the disruption to protect its status quo. To survive this transition, the AI architecture must be built entirely outside the mothership's reporting lines. The Edge Twin is a separate unit sponsored directly by the CEO, using a specialized agent cluster. It rebuilds high-coordination workflows via the intelligence stack, running in parallel. Workflows migrate only when it outperforms the legacy core in cost and speed, quietly deprecating it. The industry foresight on this is clear. This exact architecture unlocks a level of operational leverage that was structurally impossible a decade ago. Sam Altman projects that this specific structural shift will soon allow every single company to operate as a hyper-efficient mini-AGI. The collapse of coordination cost is inevitable. Your only viable option is to deliberately outcompete your own core using an edge twin before an AI-native competitor does it for you.